There was no point in a melee. The secretary got angry and scolded. It was so noisy. The security guard dragged these 3 people away. The security guard immediately stepped forward and dragged him out. They all cried out helplessly. The staff knew very well which way the wind was going, and hurriedly said, "Mr. Kion, I'm sorry for my ignorance. It's all because of Zhu Daji who lied to us. I've been lying all along. Always disliked Yu Wu. Thank you Mr. Kion for venting your anger for me. I will always stand by Mr. Kion's side." Yan Bao asked you, "Mr. Kion, are you satisfied with this result?" You smiled slightly. "Okay, go ahead, let's do this. But when your company hires people in the future, pay attention and consider their character carefully," she suddenly said apologetically. Before she wanted to let him be the director, but he didn't agree. "Now that you're upset, I feel guilty. You laugh it off. I'm a person who likes to be modest." Daji and Yu Wu are struggling to scratch their hands on the ground and hear it but are speechless. Yan Bao dear, the 2 of them walked and talked. "Lin Xin, do you still remember what I said about finding a professional team? Their research has made great progress. Let me show you," he answered briefly. "Okay." The employee who witnessed this scene muttered in disbelief. "I didn't see wrong. The legendary strong female general manager also has a weak side." In Yan Bao's office, Lin Xin glanced around and exclaimed, "Her office is so luxurious." She replied while typing on the computer, "In fact, most of my time is spent at the engineering company. Technical, haven't been here for a long time." Then she introduced to you, "This is our latest achievement." He walked over and put his arms on her chair, then bent down to look intently at the computer screen. "I didn't understand but found it very wonderful. Everything, it's all numbers and codes and I don't know a single word." Then he happily took out his phone. "In general, good job Yan Bao. I invested another 500 million in her." She couldn't help but look at him in shock. His hand quickly clicked to transfer 500 million. At the same time, the system suddenly displayed a notification. "Favorability plus 10%. She said with trepidation. "Thank you. I will definitely not disappoint you." Yes, at this moment, suddenly the chair she was sitting on shook. A loud bang rang out. She lost her voice and screamed. Looking at Yan Bao falling to the ground, Lin Xin asked in confusion, "Yan Bao, are you okay?" At this moment, her whole body was stuck in the chair. She awkwardly spoke, "Mr. Kion, I seem to be stuck." I don't know why he suddenly thought of a cool image. A blonde girl wearing bodysuit was humming and singing, "I'm doing laundry today." When she put the clothes in the washing machine, she was shocked to discover something. Oh no, oh no. Half of her body was stuck in the washing machine. She quickly asked for help. "You and I are stuck." Just thinking about this made his heart feel restless. Stop, stop. Why do these thoughts appear in his head? Strange image. You awkwardly looking at Yan Bao. It's also my first time encountering something like this. What should I do now? It's urgent. At this moment she spoke miserably. "Lin Xin, I can't move. Help me." "You hurry." I came closer, grabbed her arms and pulled her up. I pulled her up. She immediately screamed, "No, no, it hurts." He immediately said in confusion, Sorry. The secretary was standing outside the door and heard the movement inside and couldn't help but panic. She banged on the door and worriedly asked, "Director, what's wrong? Do you need my help?" "What's wrong?" Yan Bao immediately called out. "No, I'm fine." She sat in the room sadly. If she saw this look of mine, the image I worked so hard to build would collapse. Seeing that, Lin Xin immediately said softly, "Being a director is not easy. Let's do this. I will hug her on the sofa, change her position and maybe she can pull her out." She immediately agreed. "Okay, I'm so sorry." You quickly wrapped his arms around her legs. Then he lifted both himself and the chair up, his mouth kindly asking if this hurts. Her heart pounding and shyly replied, "It's fine." Next, he put her face down on the sofa again. "Okay." She lies on her stomach. Lift her waist a little. I support her. She has a little patience. She blushes and does as he says. Then try to feel it a bit and say, "Well, in general, it's better than being stuck and not being able to get out." The secretary was secretly eavesdropping and immediately covered his mouth with a look of disbelief. The director is as brave as a man. Smart, talented, strong and proficient. Why, no, I must have been thinking wrongly. Lin Xin pulled the chair hard and finally got it out. He quickly asked, "Yan Bao, are you okay?" Yan Bao rubbed his numb calf and replied in a mumbled voice. Thank you, looking at her sexy figure and her long white legs. He unconsciously swallowed his saliva. He quickly regained consciousness and helped her stand up. Kindly reminded her that her dress was torn. She said softly, "It's okay, I have a dressing room. I'll go change into other clothes." A moment later, Yan Bao took Lin Xin to another room. As soon as the light turned on, he immediately saw two neatly arranged wardrobes. He couldn't help but blurt out, "Oh my God, there is another room in the office." Changing clothes so lavishly, poverty has limited his imagination. Suddenly his eyes fell on a purple cotton dress. He immediately complimented, "This dress is so beautiful." Yan Bao immediately looked over. Then she entered the dressing room and said, "I'll change quickly, you wait for me." He briefly replied, "Okay." But after Yan Bao went inside, he observantly discovered the ball. Her figure was printed on the door. It was like a slow-motion movie, making it easy for him to see every move of her changing clothes. He couldn't help but be shocked. He suddenly had an idea. It was a good idea. When a gentleman encounters a situation like this, of course he has to take a chair and watch carefully. If he thought he would do it, he would actually take a chair and seriously sit and watch. But not long after, Yan Bao suddenly spoke, asked, "Lin Xin, are you there?" He immediately felt guilty and answered, "Nonsense. I didn't look." "No, I did." She continued changing her clothes. "I want to say my sincere thanks to you. In fact, my family did not approve of me starting a business. They all thought that my engineering company would fail. Only he believed in me unconditionally, not only investing 1 billion but also without any restrictions. Anything, so I can work comfortably." Her face is full of determination and hope. "I swear, I will absolutely not let your investment fail." Lin Xin secretly thought to herself, "I still wish you would fail. If your business prospers, you won't come to me asking for money anymore. Only when you lose money will I have a reason to invest more money." But on the outside he was still very gentlemanly and replied, "It's okay, I don't care about money. If you want to repay me, just try to spend the money." Her movements stopped slightly. "Trying to spend money, I understand." Lin Xin's meaning is, there is no need to save money. I want to spend a lot of resources to research and develop the chip industry, so that Hoa quickly escapes from the oppression of America. This speculation made her feel that she was insignificant, that she had always only thought about money. And Lin Xin, so talented. This was her vision. The system displays a notification again. Favorability plus 20%. Jiang Xiyin's favorability increased by 52%. Lin Xin touches his chin. "I was so pleased with my thoughts that my affection suddenly increased a lot." As expected, trying to spend money is a romantic statement. At this time, Yan Bao had finished changing and walked out, wearing the dress that Lin Xin complimented when just now. The whole charming body sparkled and said, "I finished changing. Lin Xin, can I invite you to dinner?" Lin Xin blushed admiringly. "Oh, it's this dress." Jiang Xiyan was extremely pleased with his expression. Xiyan coldly asked the secretary to arrange a car to Julongshan Hotel. The secretary replied, "Yes." The director. Some employees saw Jiang Xiyan wearing a sexy dress like that. "I can't help but be surprised. Moreover, this is the outfit I just changed while talking to Lin Xin. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't help but think that they were having an affair." The men saw their president being won when the other guy lost his racket. He was extremely depressed. On this side, Chairman Yan and Lin Xin were having a delicious dinner. Jiang Xiyan opened his mouth. "I've seen that plan before. It's so wonderful. I really can't believe this is your first time doing this job." "Hey," Lin Xin replied humbly, "it's okay. This project is relatively simple." Thanks to this humility, her favorability towards him increased by 15%. The favorability is now 77% already. That night, Chia Yuxuan was taking a shower and also made a video call with his friend. Jiang Xiyin's voice rang out from the phone. "I really didn't expect that his working ability was so good. And he always kept calm and cool." Chia Yuxuan was curious, so our arrogant president was finally moved. Chia Yuxuan had just returned from dinner with him. She playfully replied, "I don't know, but Yuxuan, don't you have to fly to Japan tomorrow? Why don't you go to bed early?" "What? Or maybe I went with my high school friends so I was so excited that I couldn't sleep." Chia Yuxuan was so embarrassed that she became angry. What are you talking about? He and I are just normal classmates. Jiang Shiyan continued to tease. A normal classmate would help you with such a big thing. Don't if you forget. It's like you've sold yourself to someone. Chia Yuxuan angrily turned away and didn't want to talk anymore. Jiang Shiyan just laughed and turned off the phone. Lin Xin went abroad. She suddenly felt like going on a date. Can moved to another place. Kamida Kento is waiting for his assistant to report the amount of capital he has. According to this person's report, this amount of capital is enough for him to be able to buy anything he wants at the auction next week. Kamida is satisfied. So what about those arrogant Chinese people? Cao Jun said that person has already booked a plane ticket. Old Kamida heard this even more satisfied. If you dare to offend our Kamida consortium, first humiliate him at the auction, and then let him stay here forever. 10 days later, sitting on the plane, Chia Yuxuan suddenly saw the notification. 2 days later, the largest auction held every 4 years in Japan officially opened. This auction also attracted the attention of collectors around the world. Lin Xin sitting next to her noticed that her face was a bit different and asked questions. She explained, very excited but also very nervous. Excited because she could see extremely precious archaeological artifacts. Nervous it's because I heard that Cao Jun, who was working for Kamida, a famous Japanese chaebol, when he provoked you, it was definitely not with good intentions. If you lose at the auction, I'm afraid he will. Lin Xin confidently reassured her. It's okay, whether I bet with him or not. I will buy all of the Chinese literature. At this moment, the two people's economy class suddenly heard a loud scream from the children. Child, Ultraman attacks. This boy noticed his beautiful sister and immediately ran over to mischief. The boy kept pushing hard on the back of her chair. Chia Yuxuan gently turned down and reminded, little friend, kicking the back of the chair that's not good. The boy burst out laughing. Sister, you are so beautiful, let me see your body. Chia Yuxuan was shocked after hearing this. She didn't understand how a child could utter such dirty words. Not achieving his wish, he immediately angrily punched her phone. Lin Xin angrily stood up and was about to chase after him and curse him but was stopped by Chia Yuxuan. Lin Xin looked unhappy heart. You are too honest. When children are naughty without discipline, they will be even more naughty when they grow up. Their passenger compartment was silent for a few seconds when this boy came back. He was holding my toy. I ran everywhere, constantly shouting and joking. His superhero toy accidentally got stuck on her dress. The boy didn't pay attention and continued running, so he fell to the ground. Chia Yuxuan's entire dress was torn. This time Lin Xin couldn't hold it anymore. This kid was stealing and screaming. He screamed loudly and yelled in pain. Hearing his child's cry, his mother immediately ran to raise her voice. Who was bullying her? The boy quickly ran to his mother, pointed at Chia Yuxuan and said that she was the one who bullied him. The mother didn't bother to ask clearly, but instead blamed the two of you. Why do you bully my child? Lin Xin was about to say it clearly, but Chia Yuxuan once again stopped him. She softly explained that she had misunderstood. It was her child running and jumping in the aisle of the plane. So his toy was hooked on her dress. After hearing this mother still shouted in a loud and arrogant voice. What's wrong with children running around for a while? Didn't you run when you were little? Are you crippled? Chia Yuxuan is still gentle. It's okay for children to run. But this is on an airplane. She should have taught her children that they can't run and jump on airplanes. This lady still argues bluntly. What about airplanes? The plane is your home. If you say I don't know how to raise a child, then you definitely know how to teach it. You've given birth before, you slut, wearing clothes that reveal your legs and arms. The son saw his mother say that and followed suit. Pointing at him, the face said she was a slut. It was true that she was spoiled because of her mother. This time it's too much. Chia Yuxuan stood up and said again. What do I wear? Besides, whatever I wear is my freedom. Do you teach your child like that? I don't know how to teach. My son understands more than a slut like you. There's a lot of aunties. The boy standing below heard his mother say that and followed suit. I understand much better than that slut. Mom, I saw that slut wearing pants. Hearing this, she quickly covered her child's eyes. Her son still continues to talk nonsense. Now those sluts, if their clothes don't look good, they like to put holes in their pants. And they like to rip that dress off. She looked at her and smiled evilly. My family's spirit was affected by shameless women like you. Chia Yuxuan was so angry that she couldn't say another word. This is when Lin Xin stepped forward to protect you. I wondering why there was such a brash child. It turned out that his mother was also like that. The ill-mannered child ran around on the plane. The mother did the same, arguing loudly on the plane. Her face Chinese people's noses are all humiliated by you guys on international flights. She's still talking and fighting. You guys and girls want to bully us. I'll call the flight attendant to chase you off the plane. I'm not scared to death right now. It's okay to call the flight attendant. That's great. I was just about to tell the flight attendant about the crimes of this uneducated brat. Maliciously using a toy to ruin her dress. As a result, he couldn't stand up and fell to the ground. Then started to yell at her and harassed her with language. It was estimated that he was caught by the police and had to be educated for a while. And then had to pay for it. Anymore. The little guy's face turned blue and he quickly ran to hug his mother's hand. Mom, please scold him. Seeing that she was speechless, he then turned to ask if Chia Yuxuan was okay. This type of person is the type of person who kidnaps her. Bullying the weaker and afraid of crime. If she had a tougher attitude, she wouldn't be able to do anything. Chia Yuxuan blushed. Her self-conscious favorability increased by 5%. Being unreasonable, she continued to argue bluntly. Being mean to men and women. She could only be poor and poor in economy class. What arrogance. You guys don't have the money to sit in first class for the rest of your life. The other people in the same cabin had had enough. They stood up and told her that even if they sat in economy class, they wouldn't lose any of her money. After arguing with the two of them, she started arguing with the others. What the hell does this have to do with your business? Are these poor people colluding with each other? Looking at us, we thought we were easy to bully. Really? Lin Xin coldly called the flight attendant to take this mother and child back to the first-class cabin. At the same time, in the flight attendant's lounge, Xiao Ying is busy drinking milk tea and chatting online. Chun walked over and saw that she was wearing lipstick again, so he kindly reminded her. Xiao Ying saw Chun carrying the breakfast and wondered who she brought it to. The two of them quarreled just to please this guest. Xiao Fang heard the argument and immediately ran in to remind her. She knew full well that both of these people wanted to target Mr. Fei. Mr. Fei is a famous second-generation rich man in Yanjiang City. And also sells plane. He's still good friends with the president of Spring Airlines. Who wouldn't want to hook up with him? Even the captain threw away his driver's seat to run to flatter Mr. Fei. Hearing someone calling in the economy class, Xiao Fang asked Xiao Ying to come out and deal with it. But she didn't want to go down to the economy class at all. Just because there were passengers in the first class that needed to be dealt with. Xiao Ying walked over, smiled warmly and asked if anyone needed any help. As soon as she saw the flight attendant, Chia Yuxuan immediately pointed to the mother and daughter and reported. Is this lady okay? Knowing good and bad, not staying in the first-class cabin but running to this place to cause trouble. Affecting our rest. Seeing her boldly expose bad things without any stumbling blocks. Lin Xin is proud praising. She couldn't argue with her, so she showed off her position. I'm the wife of the chairman of the board of directors of the Yanjiang Fortune Group. Do you believe me or believe this poor thing? Just heard about it here. Xiao Ying immediately decided to defend her. Is there some misunderstanding here? Logically speaking, this lady bought a first-class ticket to enjoy the feeling of peace and quiet. Pleasant first-class cabin. You said she ran to the economy class to cause trouble. A bit unreasonable, right? Lin Xin frowned in displeasure. She meant, the first-class people are all highly qualified. It wouldn't causing trouble. So are we in economy class causing trouble? Xiao Ying says with her mouth that she has no such intention. But in her mind she is constantly criticizing him for being in economy class and not knowing his identity. That old woman immediately laughed when she heard that. See, this is the gap between people of the upper and lower classes. Do you still want to chase me away? With my extensive connections, take you being on Summer Airlines blacklist is not a difficult thing. You will never be able to sit on Summer Airlines again in the future. Lin Xin picked his nose as if nothing had happened. I don't believe it. This attitude of yours once again angered her. At this moment, Mr. Fei also appeared in this place because of their noise. Xiao Ying immediately bowed her head and apologized when she saw him. There was a guest staying. Economy class caused trouble. I have finished handling it all. When I saw Mr. Fei appear, She came over and asked me to be his last name. You're dead. This is Mr. Fei, a famous second-generation rich family in Yanjiang City. Their family sells airplanes. The members of the board of directors of Summer Airlines all know that if you often fly on the plane to talk about business, I will tell him to put you on the blacklist. After saying that, she immediately extended her hand to greet him. Hello Mr. Fei, I am the wife of the chairman of the board of directors of Yanjiang Fortune Group. We met at the party last week. Just now it was these two dog men and women who caused trouble. I tried to dissuade them, but unfortunately these low-class people refused to listen to me. Xiao Ying and Mrs. Fei were both waiting for Mr. Fei to give them a shouting match. But no, as soon as Mr. Fei saw him, he was so happy and shook hands to say hello. You're Mr. Qian, I can meet a real person. It's me, in the Yanjiang Prince Daughter Group. I'm just one airplane salesman. Lin Xin finally recognized this person. Being remembered by him, Mr. Fei felt very honored. On the contrary, the other three people found Mr. Fei's attitude towards him extremely unpleasant. Unexpectedly, Mr. Fei actually turned into a junior before that younger brother. Only the stupid son blurted out wondering, Mom, why did that trash nod to that man? The consequences of his stupid words. This grandchild immediately received a slap from his mother's attorney. Mr. Fei turned around and asked the flight attendant to promote two people to first class. The money was directly deducted from his card. The other three people were even more shocked after hearing this. Moreover, I don't understand what kind of family background you have that you can receive such good treatment from director Lin. Thank you for his good intentions. But you don't want to go to first class. Because you don't want to look at this old lady's face again. It affects your mood. Whatever is difficult, Mr. Fei is worried. After your words, she immediately fell on the company's blacklist. Right at this time, she suddenly started acting again. She suddenly felt so dizzy. Her heart hurt so much. Mr. Qian, don't you see how pitiful we and my mother are? Her son dares to be rude to Chia Yuxuan. You will definitely. It's not easy to let go. A tiger father gave birth to a tiger son. The mother and child of their family threw tantrums, cried loudly. People with money are bullying us weak mother and child. Mr. Fei saw this and shouted loudly. That's enough. The whole plane heard the noise you made. Disturbing public order. As soon as the plane lands, you will be punished by the security manager. Everyone else in the economy class extremely satisfied with the ending that this mother and daughter received. People began to spread the video of her cursing the entire economy class online, to see if she could continue to sit on the plane anymore. This side, after hearing everything, Xiao Ying could only cry. After that stormy flight, the three of them finally arrived at Japan Neo Airport. Just as Mr. Fei said, the two of them, mother and son, was escorted away by the security team. Lin Xin happily talked to Mr. Fei. I will come to attend the auction in 2 days. I plan to buy back all the cultural objects of the flower country. Mr. Fei was very impressed. Mr. Qian is so noble. Truly the pride of the flower country. Comparing with you is so embarrassing. But Mr. Qian must be careful. Kamida Kento. He is a very famous Japanese tycoon, with a passion for literature, especially those of our country. In every auction, as long as it is a literary object that he likes, no one has ever been able to win. This person is cunning, revengeful, and cruel. He will first use his financial resources to crush his opponents, then humiliate them. In the next few days, those people will be seriously injured unexpectedly, although there is no evidence. But in the words, rumor has it that it was the ninjas and samurai he hired who did it. It's possible that this time Mr. Qian will have to face Kamida Kento in this auction. Chia Yuxuan only then understood. No wonder Cao Jun used a trick to lure you here. It turns out his purpose is to want you to clash with Kamida. This Cao Jun is too cruel. Lin Xin, how about we go back? Okay. Lin Xin pretend to be determined. If I leave, the cultural objects of the flower country will fall into Kamida's hands. I will not let this happen, he thought to himself. Besides, he can also earn a bunch of counterattack gold in the auction. So it's a win-win situation for both sides. Mr. Fei admires young people with such a determined attitude. In the crowd suddenly a suspicious character appeared. In a corner without anyone paying attention. All three being followed by a woman. Last night, old Kamida called her and said, according to intelligence, Chia Yuxuan appeared at the airport with a rich Chinese man. You know what to do, yes. My best subordinate, Iris Saito, the dark shinobi. She bowed her head and accepted her order. This subordinate will let that stupid Chinese know what a Japanese tycoon is. Don't worry, master, I won't kill him, I'll just give him a warning. He must stay, live to go to the auction and kneel before him. Over the radio, Iris Saito announced that he had confirmed Chia Yuxuan. At this moment, Lin Xin felt thirsty again, so they separated the two to go buy water. On the other hand, Iris Saito on this side put the ring on. Her plan was to pat him on the back with poisoned kakushi. The specially prepared poison could cause death. The target experiences weakness, vomiting, and diarrhea. Iris Saito slowly approached him. Was about to make a move when she was startled by his scream. Damn, what kind of water is this? 80 yuan a bottle. This stuff only costs 2 yuan in the country. Japan, are you crazy? Forced to sell water. Is it so expensive? At this moment he saw a public water tank. With the ideal of life. Saving is a national policy. Lin Xin rushed to do one sip of water. As expected, free food is always delicious. Looking at his attitude, she couldn't help but become suspicious. This is a rich country. Rich people bought a museum for 1 billion yuan. Couldn't believe it. Just like that, Iris Saito hadn't acted yet but followed Lin Xin outside. Seeing him appear, Chia Yuxuan expressed shyly, I told Mr. Fei's car to go first. This time with you go out. I want to experience more different lifestyles. In fact, she just wants to be alone with you a little more. Lin Xin didn't ask any questions and called a taxi for the two of us. After knowing the price of the national car was up to 152 yuan, Lin Xin immediately invited Chia Yuxuan to sit on the airport bus. The ticket price was only 30 yuan. When you should spend, then spend. When you should save, then save. Anyway, there's no rush. By the way, you can also enjoy the scenery along the way. Iris Saito couldn't believe that these words could really come from the mouth of a millionaire. She followed them both to the hotel lobby. This time, Lin Xin showed off her amazing saving ability by pulling out 3 coupons. Poor, stingy, taking advantage of the little things. From the above observations, Iris Saito is sure he is not a billionaire. Judging by his appearance, she guessed he was Chia Yuxuan's assistant. She decided to ask for information about the millionaire herself through this assistant. At 10 p.m., Lin Xin was engrossed in her game when she suddenly heard a knock on the door. He ran out and looked through the cat's eyes to see who was coming. Outside, Iris Saito is wearing a cool outfit, holding a tray of food in her hand. She greets Lin Xin through cat eyes and introduces herself as a hotel waitress. Bringing dinner for her older brother. Hearing that, Lin Xin happily opened the door to welcome her into the room. Just when he was also hungry. But he still didn't remember if he had booked this service in advance or not. Iris Saito pretended to stand next to him and watch him eat. Just after eating one piece, Lin Xin immediately received a notification from the system. Checking the truth medicine. Activating passive skills. Eliminating poison. The effect of the truth medicine was disabled. Lin Xin chewed, wondering why there was truth-telling medicine here. This medicine was originally only used in the military. At this point, he could be sure that she was the Kamida Kento sent him, so he decided to have fun first. Lin Xin immediately stepped into the role. He held his head and complained of pain, while Iris Saito stood next to her and smiled with satisfaction. At this moment, the system notification appeared again. Detecting a beautiful-looking woman. Beautiful. Start the mischief mission. Iris Saito shyly pulled back her hair. Tell me, where is the rich person surnamed Lin who accompanied Chia Yuxuan to participate in this auction? Lin Xin's mind now has preliminary information about full name, age, height, weight, along with a warning. When the subject's affinity for the host exceeds 90%, 10% of the fee will be refunded. The counterattack money is spent on the host's personal assets. When the favorability reaches 100%, the identity is changed, and the dependency relationship between the host and the target is changed. Her current favorability is changed. With Lin Xin now it is minus 30%. Because of that mischief mission that suddenly appeared, Lin Xin reluctantly had to show her lustful face, looking at her breasts and saying, I like people with innocent faces and hearts. The soul must be full. Iris Saito immediately became embarrassed and quickly covered her speakers. However, she was not too surprised by this reaction. Because as far as she knows, some people have extremely weak will. After taking medicine, if you tell the truth, you will lose your ability to control yourself and speak your heart's thoughts. No matter how vile and despicable the thoughts are. Iris Saito quickly caught up and followed Lin Sin. People are also very like you. So can you tell me, where is that rich person? Lin Sin pretended not to know and then slapped her thigh. She was so hungry, she couldn't remember for a while. Fed me. Then I told her. Of course it was okay. After that she immediately placed her butt on his lap. Then very skillfully fed him pieces of fruit. Lin Sin comfortably hugged me woman in hand, constantly praising her deliciousness. Looks like a bad boy. He's not acting. After being fed, Lin Sin finally revealed it to her. That rich man said he would appear at the meeting. The auction officially started. Because that's the way to be majestic. Iris Saito thought thoughtfully. So that's it. Then it really fits the arrogant personality that Cao Jun said. Even though he already had the information, believed what she wanted. But her next action was surprising. She calmly rode on Lin Sin's lap. She whispered in his ear, "Let's play something else." Then Iris Saito quickly grabbed his neck and used force to lock his arms. Lin Sin pretended to be stupid. "Can you still play with love like this? Iris Saito turned the cards over to you. You have no use value. Sleep peacefully. Take a nap." Lin Sin then fainted just like she said. "When you wake up tomorrow, you will forget everything about today." Having said that, she carefully put on her mask and left here. After confirming that the door was closed, Lin Sin just got out of her role. I have to admit, no as expected of a professionally trained person. Her leg strength was not light at all. If it weren't for the level 3 arm strength of the blocker, she would have really been knocked unconscious. Unexpectedly, the auction hadn't even started yet. That Kamida couldn't wait to deal with him. This made him look forward to this auction even more. Scene changed to the main auction hall. The silent hall suddenly became bustling, probably thanks to the appearance of President Kamida. He appeared with Iris Saito and Cao Jun by his side. She whispered to the owner, "If that person just appeared today, then I can ambush at the door then directly kill him." "No need." Confident Kamida. Perfume has a saying, "The turtle retracts its head." Isn't it to visualize opponents like this one who don't dare to appear? He's hiding, showing the panic in his heart. In terms of momentum, he has already lost. Cao Jun continued, "If he dares to appear in the auction today, this will be the day of his death." Iris Saito also follow along. That's right, the perfume people are all equally despicable and useless. Everyone is as cowardly as a mouse. Isn't Chia Yushuan's assistant last night an example? Was walking. Suddenly she stopped and asked, wondering why there were so many people in front. That was Chia Yushuan, and the person next to her was. Cao Jun suddenly shouted loudly, "Damn it, Lin Sin." He also seemed to feel this surprise, so he turned around and gave them a confident smile. Cao Jun couldn't believe his eyes. Hadn't he already arrived? Iris Saito was equally surprised. What? He was that rich man star. Lin Sin and Chia Yushuan walked up to the three people to say hello. They were all familiar faces. This fat guy with big ears and big face in the middle is the Kamida bastard. Right. Iris Saito panicked. Why did the medicine say it really didn't work? Could it be that he saw through my identity from the beginning? Old Kamida silently cursed the girl next to him for being so useless. Cao Jun was quick to speak and immediately responded to him. Full name Lin. You also dare to come here. You were indeed very brave. But in front of President Kamida, you were more or less a bit arrogant. Lin Sin smiled gently and invited him to go first. I will do it. How dare you be rude in front of me? Sir, I'm a junior here, so I still invite you to go first. Kamida then responded to him, welcoming the talented young man from Perfume, hoping that Mr. Lin would not disappoint me any longer. His tone full of gunpowder could not make Lin Sin tremble in fear. I guarantee I will have a surprise for this old man. On stage, today's auction will be run by a young girl. This will be the largest charity auction in the Kingdom of Japan, which is also a world-class auction. 90% of the auction amount will be donated to the World Relief Organization. The auctioneer begins to introduce the big names appearing in the auction today. Today, first is Mr. Kateto Kamida, president of Kamida Shoji in this country, followed by Andy John from the England country, Louisiana from the France country, Babik from the South Arabia country, Last is Mr. Lin Sin from Perfume. Lin Sin's name was just announced. Everyone around immediately started talking. They had never heard of this name before. They sat in the back and mocked him. There's no such person in the Lin family or group in China. Probably a nouveau riche who came here to broaden his horizons. Lin Sin turned black and said nothing. He suddenly stood up and walked towards the stage. Lin Sin took the auctioneer's mic and spoke. So shy. To bother everyone's time. I'm Lin Sin from Perfume. Originally our Perfume is a country that values politeness in the East. I shouldn't overwhelm the host here. But in order to in the future, everyone can communicate more easily. I would like to say a few sentences to clearly show my attitude first. 1. Lin, please, I came here this time for the perfume literature. So just the perfume literature I look at if I win. I will definitely be able to auction. Especially the perfume artifacts that were stolen and left outside. And finally appeared on the auction list. I will have to get it even more. Hi, if this is the auction, charity auction, I will play something interesting for everyone. No matter how much money I bid today, I will multiply the amount by 2 and donate to charity. 3. Kind reminder, everyone please bid carefully. Otherwise I'm afraid you will lose miserably. Am I right, Mr. Kameda? Other people in the hall heard it and immediately started talking, thinking that this perfume kid is really arrogant. I don't know how high and how thick the sky is. But when I heard that I would double the donation amount, I'm still handsome. Old Kameda responded at this time. Just showing off his prestige. Jumping around like a clown. No need to be afraid. His assistant soon also reported. This time the John family brought 5 billion. And from the Far Kingdom and the Middle East brought 4.8 billion and 4.5 billion respectively. The 8 billion funds you have prepared are more than enough to sweep this entire auction. This auction is a step in implementing your plan for Great East Asian literature. Now the front page of DJ newspaper has been prepared. After the auction, your heroic demeanor will be published in the press immediately, and will also conveniently announce to the whole world your great literary plan. By then, the shares of Kameda Group will definitely skyrocket. Mr. Matsumo, who is supported by the Zaibatsu, will have the ability to become president this term. Old Kameda immediately appeared extremely satisfied after hearing this. Very good. Conveniently killed an ant on the way forward towards my great future. The auction officially started. The first item was the incense burner of the same period. The starting price was 8,000.000. Kameda's number 001 immediately bid 30,000.000. Is there anyone else offering a higher price? Kameda quickly glanced around. This time, Lin Sin is studying the auction list with Chia Yuxuan. Is this an Arhat statue sold in the perfume of the Dex dynasty of the Japanese kingdom? It is not suitable for the perfume culture at all. How can this be sold? She carefully explained to him. In ancient times there were many countries that made things to export to foreign countries. The style was a bit out of place. As soon as she finished speaking, she turned away confused. I'm sorry. Your knowledge of literature is more profound than mine. But I still want to explain it to you. He sincerely expressed that he really liked how focused he looked when talking about ancient literature. A person's appearance is always the most beautiful when they work seriously. Chia Yuxuan blushed and didn't know what to say. At the same time, her favorability towards him also increased by 5 points. The air was filled with the color of both of their love has flowed to the old Kameda's side. He seems to be discriminatory. A ridiculous patriot. Next is the auction of perfume artifacts. By that time I see you can still avoid a direct attack. How is my appearance? Immediately, the second cultural relic, the blue and white peacock plate from China. Starting price 1,000. Lin Sin's number 008 slowly posted. The remaining 4 people are waiting to see the end. How much money does this arrogant kid have? Didn't let them wait too long. Lin Sin confidently shouted. 300 million. Was not unexpected. The other 3 people couldn't believe their ears. They were bidding for the first time. Why are you so tense? Only Kameda seemed to look down on him, thinking that this was the hasty mentality of the weak wanting to show off. What a pity. His assistant was confused and wondered if he should compete. Kameda pretended to be erudite. This porcelain plate only cost 180 million at most. If he wants to buy at a loss, then just let him buy it. No one bid higher. Then the Fan Hoa peacock plate belongs to number 008 for 300 million. Lin Sin took Chia Yuxuan's hand. This peacock disc was given to her. Very suitable for her beauty. The couple next to him were also very surprised by his action. Depending on conveniently gifting documents worth up to 300 million to your girlfriend. Although seriously, it was a museum purchase for both of them. But Chia Yuxuan also appreciated him very much. In contrast to the two people's euphoric scene, the other people in the hall had to listen to this lovebirds. The sex is so irritating. Continue. The third cultural relic is an 8-foot magatama from the Sichuan and German era of our country. Starting price 800,000. Kamida personally bid 20 million. Lin Xin still Fong Tai is still calm but shouting the price up to 500 million. Cao Jun sounds annoyed. Damn, didn't he say he only bought literary objects from the flower country? This is definitely to anger the president. Kamida indeed was a bit uncomfortable. What a stupid way to do it. Spending that much money just to make me angry. So childish. The result was an 8-foot magatama was brought in by number 008 for 500 million. Lin Xin loudly declared, I'm giving this magatama to M. Saito Kite. Thank you for your massage service. Saito couldn't help but be startled after hearing this. Old Kamida angrily turned around and reprimanded her. She said the top secret name, did I give it to him? She was scared and quickly explained. I didn't, master, I really didn't say. He must have used some trick to know my identity. Master, trust me, I will refuse that magatama. Kamida raised his voice. Refuse? Why refuse? This is a gift he gave you. I order you to accept it. Saito reluctantly accept this gift. Your favor and you are now minus 10%. Lin Xin chuckled. Using money as a tool to make people lose their goodwill is truly rare. And you can also enjoy that guy's twisted expression. It's too much, hey Pepsi. On the other hand, Iris Saito is very angry right now, not understanding what his purpose is, giving her harmful things for no reason and being misunderstood by the owner. But besides being angry, I'm still a bit in love. Because after all, this is the first time she's been given a gift by someone else. And her liking for Lin Xin has increased by 5%. Lin Xin couldn't help but be startled when she heard the announcement. Why did it increase? This side. Because I remembered that the giver was a hateful person. So the favorability decreased by 3%. Women are really difficult to understand. Lin Xin felt extremely sad. Not because the favorability is reduced. During the auction, her popularity kept increasing and then decreasing, making him feel like he was being poisoned by notifications from the system. Which was still healing. Lin Xin suddenly said arrogantly. Loud enough for the whole hall to hear. I thought the auction would be very fierce. But unexpectedly no one bid. Thank you for giving in. Thank you. Many thanks. The following items are not from the Chinese nation. I'm not interested. Everyone can do as they please. Everyone felt hot after hearing this, but there was nothing they could do about this brat. The auction continued to take place smoothly. The item was sold. Brought out at this time is a vase from the Shameless era. Starting price is 5,000.000. Andy John offers 8,000.000. Louisian offers 1.000.000. Babak offers 3.000.000. Kamida plays with the price of 8.000.000. The vase from the Shameless era, this finally belongs to Kamida. Others quickly applauded him. Cao Jun whispered to him. President, definitely don't let that rich guy fool you. On the surface they are flattering you. Really his eyes were always staring at Lin Xin. They were observing Lin Xin's movements. The reason why you were able to auction the artifacts just now was because Lin Xin slightly moved his little finger. They thinking that Lin Xin wanted to increase the money. Before he could finish speaking, this guy was given a slap by old Kamida. Shut up for me. Cao Jun humiliated Ly apologized to him. Lin Xin also quickly added more fuel into the fire. So you guys are always watching me. Rest assured. Rest assured. Next is the cultural heritage of the flower country. You want me to take action? Then satisfy you. Old Kamida was angry. Ha-1 the fifth literary object was immediately brought out. A map of thousands of miles of mountains and rivers in late Tang dynasty of China. Starting price 8,000. As expected of a national treasure. Many plaques. The price was raised. Number 001 of Mr. Kamida also contributed shares with 800 million. Lin Xin yawned. Instead of increasing million by million like that, he decided to go big. 2 billion. This number of 2 billion immediately surprised many people. The number 2 billion was still surprising. 5 made everyone experience another shock. Old Kamida screamed out of control. I said 2 billion 5. Cao Jun was scared but still had to speak up to remind him. President, you forgot the strategy. Is it ours? This time we have to put all our effort into auctioning many items. If we spend money like this. Kamida seems to have really lost his reason. He gritted his teeth and ordered him to shut up. If you give in every time, then where will this Kamida's face be? If you want to play, then Lin Sin will also push to the end. 3 billion. Kamida angrily raised his number. 3 billion 5. Lin, please enthusiastically respond to him with the price of 4 billion. The growing number that makes everyone gasp. This painting was only valued at 200 million. Now the price has increased 20 times. Here, obviously throwing money out the window. They weren't too surprised by Lin Sin. But they didn't expect that even President Kamida would spend money so uncontrollably. On the other hand, the servants and assistants who were with him when this guy is standing still before his excitement. Old Kamida suddenly showed a cunning smile. He put down his sign. I don't follow anymore. 4 billion. This painting belongs to you, Mr. Lin Sin. This time the whole audience understood everything. It turned out that the president of Kamida deliberately appeared agitated and fought the bidding. All just to make Lin Sin spend a lot of money. Lin Sin's finances, it can't be infinite. If he keeps raising the price like this, he won't be able to last for long. Although it's easy to think of ways to counter Lin Sin, he also needs the person raising the price to be patient and able to withstand criticism. With a strong mind when faced with danger, worthy of being the president of Kamida, he is truly extraordinary. Lin Sin did not feel bitter after hearing this. Okay, is that the right way to play? He replied with one ironic words. I accept, Mr. Lin. Auctioneer announced. Number 008 auctioned a map of thousands of miles of mountains and rivers in late Tang dynasty of China for 4 billion. Just now it seemed like that. But Kamida now seemed to be sitting on fire. He quickly ordered his assistant to borrow money from Sanryo Shoju and Futu Shoji, using real estate as collateral, to borrow 10 billion. He smiled evilly and revealed his plan. All the remaining finances after the auction of other artifacts were not enough to maintain my future plans. People like Lin Sin are arrogant. He will definitely regardless of everything. Just like in the beginning. Collect all the cultural objects of the country in the hall. So the last item, the Guan Yin lapis lazuli, is the most important. As long as he has that Guan Yin statue. How can a perfectionist like him endure this kind of mistake? Then wouldn't it be a failure to establish a character that spends a lot of money right from the start? Has he fallen? So he will definitely not be able to endure this final defeat. He will definitely defy everything. As long as I can get that lapis lazuli statue, I can grasp the rope of control Lin Sin. After hearing this, his assistant couldn't help but admire. So it's like that, Mr. Kamida. The more money Lin Sin spent in front of him, the more unable he was to give up that last piece of Chinese culture. This is related to his stance and reputation. Kamida is sure that behind Lin Sin must be a group of rich and patriotic Chinese people. So that can explain why he has so much money. So, old Kamida has made up his mind. This battle can only win, cannot lose. Iris Saito sitting behind heard everything and suddenly blushed. So he represents the flower country. On the surface looks like a joke, but is a representative of a country. Her favorability towards him increases by 5%. Iris Saito quickly adjusted her thoughts. Forcing herself to remember him is my opponent. -2 favorability. This woman's mood continues to be unstable. Bad news for Lin Sin is again hit with a rain of system notifications. The 6th auction item has appeared. The flower country's banquet Buddha's head. Starting price is 100 million. Lin Sin raised the price 500 million. The old Kamida immediately followed with the price of 1 billion. This time the hall enjoyed another tense duel. Lin asked for a price of 1 billion 5. Still the same strategy. Kamida retreated. Others in the hall lavished praise on him. Able to grasp the price and time very perfectly. Mr. Kamida is truly right. It's that the older the ginger, the spicier it gets. If Lin Sin continues like this, it will become hopeless. Very quickly, in a situation where people intentionally raised the price, Lin Sin auctioned off a lot of national cultural artifacts. The amount of money poured out has also reached a huge number. 6 billion 8. At this time, Kamida has auctioned off a lot of cultural artifacts that are not from the Chinese country. Plus borrowed finance. The remaining amount in his hand is now 12 billion 8. After a tense struggle, the relics have finally appeared. The lapis lazuli statue of the Yuan Hua dynasty era. Starting price 400 million. Just waiting for this moment. Old Kamida decided to pull out all his weapons to fight with you. This is the last cultural artifact of the flower country. It is also the thing that Lin Xin must swallow his hatred. Are you ready, Lin Xin? The sound of the auctioneer's voice interrupted his delusions. The Yuan dynasty's lapis lazuli statue was officially auctioned. Starting price 400 million. Please bid. Lin Xin gently bid 1 billion. Anyway, this is also the last document. With this you can go home. Old Kamida just offered 1 billion 5. Smiling triumphantly at you, kid. The good drama has just begun. The whole hall now only pay attention to the two of them. Because this time old Kamida decided to go all in with this item. It's no exaggeration to say that this fight is a battle of dragons and tigers. But they all think that perfume kid Lin Xin will soon lose. Lin Xin flirting back. I hope Mr. Lameda can always maintain this leisurely state. The whole time he just keeps his head down. It really suits his name, yours. If you still lose in the end, then you fear that you will be the laughingstock of the entire Japanese kingdom from now on. Right. After saying that, you raised your chin provocatively. Lin Xin Ra lightened the price of 3 billion. Old Kamida is still full of confidence at this time. Keep talking. You have already spent 8 billion 3. The remaining money cannot be more than me. After saying that, he immediately offered 4 billion. Lin Xin couldn't help but smirk at his thoughts. Being teased by the little boy. His face immediately contorted like a monkey eating chili. The two people then seemed to be playing a number game. 5 billion, 6 billion, 7 billion. When the number 9 billion was given, old Kamida started sweating profusely. Lin Xin still kept a relaxed smile and raised the number to 12 billion. This old man's face turned pale, gritted his teeth and gave the number 16 billion. Chia Yuxuan immediately stopped Lin Xin. This amount of money is too much. On the other hand, old man Kamida's assistant is also sweating. President, our finances are only 12 billion 8. It's too much. Kamida is still stubborn and gritting his teeth. This regarding my reputation. It's just a few billion. I still have stocks and many manners. The people participating in today's auction, needless to say how surprised they were. The auctioneer started shouting, 16 billion times 1. Anyone else follow? Kamida's heart was on fire. He was sweating profusely, but he still had to act to provoke him. Follow him, boy. Are you scared? 16 billion times 2 echoed in the hall. His assistant was even more panicked after hearing that. Chairman, those manners and stocks are your last assets. You really have to use those things in exchange for just one literary object. This has already exceeded its original value. Even if you buy this literary object, you will go bankrupt. Ignoring the words of resistance, he still firmly believes that, as long as I can win against Lin Xin, his wealthy fortune teller will definitely think of a way to buy back this artifact. At that time, not only will I not have to spend a penny, but I can still get a lot of good things. From Hua Guo, there are dozens of other Hua Guo museums in the plan, all of which can be credited to me. This is my true plan. So it is like that. Cao Jun and his assistant exclaimed in unison. Iris Saito also spoke up at this time. What if Lin Xin no longer needs this document? Then isn't it the end? Before he could finish his words, he angrily turned down and shouted, are you doubting me? Just wait. Lin Xin will definitely need it. He will kneel down like a dog, begging me to give up this document. For him. After speaking, he tried to force a smile that couldn't be more forced. Contrary to his expectations, Lin Xin calmly chose to give up. This great treasure had to be given to Mr. Kamida, so the decisive moment has come. Number 001, 16 billion, auctioned off the lapis lazuli statue. Record in the history of the auction world. In the next 50 years it will not be possible to break it. The audience clapped and cheered for the old chairman. But he was not as happy as they thought. Even though he was immersed in his words, everyone's wishes. But on the contrary, he felt like he was sinking into a deep pit of despair. Kamida walked quickly in front of him and looked majestic. He laughed. Lin Xin, didn't you say you would buy all the documents? What's wrong with the flower country's goods? What's wrong? He only brought a little money with him. The most important lapis lazuli statue can't be bought. How should he talk to the perfume riches? Your patriotism is not worth money at all. He waved his hand and ordered Iris Saito to bring out the hot goods. He held the sword in his hand and declared, according to the martial spirit of our kingdom of Japan, failure like you can only cut off his hand to apologize. Finished speaking, he immediately threw the sword stuck in the ground. Lin Xin slowly picked up the sword. And he was still talking endlessly. But being greedy for life and afraid of death was special. Your points. Definitely don't dare to accept such a glorious act. I can give you a chance. Now, you can borrow. Borrow 19 billion 9. I will sell the Guan Yin Lu statue glass for you. You completed the task. There is no need to be humiliated and ashamed to death. No matter. No matter. You sneered and pointed straight at his face. I just want to see this look of him. Cao Jun angrily pointed back at him. After losing, are you still so arrogant? Are you still pretending to be a fool and trying to force the price? You can't miss even a single penny. Cao Jun and his boss just keep trying. Inspiration is ingenuity. Lin Xin suddenly stood up. He raised his head high and adjusted his tie to make it more formal. Then looked down at him again. By the way, Kamida, this dog of yours, it's really not good at all. Kamida, I don't understand why your attitude is like that. Lin Xin continued. Cao Jun told you that I would buy all the cultural objects of the country. I guessed right. Cao Jun quickly added. How? Now are you afraid to change your mind now? Lin, please remind him to remember the words you said at that time. Which were literary objects sold abroad in ancient times and perfumes. Cao Jun didn't even think twice and still opened his mouth to argue. At that time he said he would collect all the documents of the perfume that were left abroad. So what happened? Old Kamida heard this and immediately understood everything. He immediately slapped. He threw fire. Cao Jun suddenly fell to the ground. He covered his face in wonder. Mr. Kamida. He was panting at this moment. He just wanted to collect the artifacts that the Kingdom of Japan once plundered from perfume before. And the lapis lazuli statue is a product sold by the Japanese kingdom to ancient perfumes. To him, it has no value at all. Lin Xin sneered. And it cannot be said that it has no value at all. What? It still has the basic value of literature. But eyebrows and beard. Since the time of perfume, this style of Guan Yin statue has not been popular anymore. It is because it has to be exported to you that we created this image. If he had had the correct information, he wouldn't have failed so miserably. Now he used 16 billion to buy a literary object with the highest price being only 400 million. A big loss. He was famous all over the world. But it's a pity that he's famous for his face-slapping attitude. Lin, please take the opportunity to be sarcastic. Aren't you going to ruin your family to buy this treasure? No, it's truly a Kamida. Old Kamida, angry and trembling. He called someone to drag Cao Jun away. On the other hand, Chia Yuxuan now understood everything. She blamed and threatened me to death. I thought he was going to fight over this Guan Yin statue with the Kamida. For a moment, he still couldn't react that this was an object. Export. Lin Xin laughed it off. Sorry, if you want to deceive the enemy, you must deceive your own people. At this time, the sound of footsteps is increasing day by day. Many people from different museums are surrounding two people and offered to invite him to our country. On the other hand, old Kamida had to endure their ridicule when he bought that Guan Yin statue for 16 billion. It didn't stop there. He was also pushed around by everyone. Sorry, where is the noble image of President Kamida anymore? At this moment, he suddenly felt a sharp pain. Kamida's face turned purple. He gasped, clutched his chest and collapsed. Yes, at this moment, a pair of shiny leather shoes appeared in front of him. Mr. Kamida, what's wrong? You have to pay attention to your health. It turned out to be Lin Xin and Chia Yuxuan. He looked at both of their backs. Eyes filled with hatred. Enemy. He slowly took out his phone and ordered all the fighters and ninjas of the Kamida family to go into battle. He ordered him to take back all of Lin Xin's artifacts. He wanted him not to see tomorrow's sun. In another development, at the permanent embassy of the Flower Nation in the Kingdom of Japan, Lin Xin and Chia Yuxuan was already here. There were many guards in the room. The Chinese embassy opened up. Mr. Lin, I already know everything. You spent a lot of money to buy precious documents. Wandering abroad in the country of flowers. I represent the embassy to express my sincere thanks to you. Kamida Kento's subtle tricks. I have also heard of it. For the most part we will definitely do our best to keep you safe. Lin Xin shook hands and thanked him. He asked this person to lend him a car. Chia Yuxuan suddenly pulled his hand. Her tone was somewhat worried. Lin Xin, don't go. Okay, it's very dangerous outside. I'm afraid. Lin Xin smiled reassuringly. I guarantee nothing will happen where. Trust me. Chia Yuxuan had tears in her eyes. She could only listen to him. A moment later, Lin Xin went to the parking garage. As he walked, he thought, if I didn't kill him this time, wouldn't I have gone on a trip in vain? Suddenly, a dart flew straight towards him from somewhere. Lin Xin calmly dodged the dart. That girl is none other than Iris Saito. Lin Xin didn't show any surprise. He came so quickly. Why didn't he bring the magatama I gave him? Iris Saito blushed embarrassedly. Why did I have to bring it? Lin Xin laughed teasingly. I saw it matches her eye color. She replied in a cold voice. I don't know why you gave me the magatama. If you want to buy me then it's useless. We Saito ninjas will only carry out the boss's duties. So it's a master-servant relationship. So it's easy to say. Lin Xin offered to hire all the Saito ninjas. How much does Kamida pay? You'll pay double. Iris Saito prepares to attack again. It's me as insulting our Saito family. Do you think we will arbitrarily cancel the contract and kill our master? Lin Xin still continued to act indifferently. Then it is only right that the master dies. The copper will disappear on its own. Right? Shut up, she shouted loudly and rushed in front of him. Lin Xin also bent his body to avoid her dangerous attack. Iris Saito wondered. He looked like he was completely helpless knowing martial arts. How could she avoid all her attacks? If that was the case, she threw another smoke bomb. Lin Xin didn't pay attention for a moment. The smoke cleared and no one was seen in front of. At this moment, Iris Saito appeared from nowhere. Her legs clamped tightly around his neck. The situation was hanging by a thread. Her sword was about to interact with his head. But fortunately, he still had enough reflexes to hold her hands. Iris Saito trembled. His strength was too great. Normally this position is the most difficult to exert force when attacked by someone. She decided to squeeze tighten your legs. Tighten your thighs around your neck. If only for a moment you will die due to lack of blood flow to the brain. Thinking she was the only one who knew how to do tricks. You quickly bit her thigh. Iris Saito was both hurt and surprised and jumped down. She didn't expect you to even have this trick. Lin Xin sighed. As long as he can win. The King of Eight Fists is also a strong fist. Now it's my turn. Lin Xin ran all the way in front of her. Iris Saito's face turned pale. She immediately raised her sword to defend. Lin Xin quickly grabbed her wrist and pressed it tightly against the car. Caught her. Iris Saito was about to knee his younger brother. Luckily he had guessed this trick. Lin Xin took revenge with an iron attack. Her two swords had now fallen. Lin Xin looked at her lying down. I breathed a sigh of relief on the ground. It was finally done. The current level 3 attribute. Fighting one ninja can still barely win. But if you deal with many martial artists and ninjas you will definitely lose. Right, think of a way. A moment later, Lin Xin put her on the car's hood and rummaged through all the toys on her body. He held the bottle of medicine and marveled. This was the real medicine. He didn't expect her to actually hide it in your chest. Really hide it well. Now, ninja girl, tell me the truth. Having said that, he immediately dropped the pill into her mouth. Iris Saito woke up dimly. The bewildered beauty had not yet understood what was going on. Was pressed close by the perverted Lin Xin. This position is really too offensive. The truth medicine has also been taken. Now is the time for your questioning. Iris Saito, her hands were tied tightly and she couldn't move at all. In the face of this situation, she still arrogantly said, I admit that I failed miserably. But to tell the truth, I have been professionally trained. Don't expect to find out any information. Any news from me. It's useless. Lin Xin smiled and replied. That's right. Then a knife like the wind passed by and cut off the binding rope. Iris Saito, the golden deer, was stunned for 5 seconds. You just threw the knife while looking at her, calmly talking in disbelief. If that's the case, then it wouldn't be worth anything for me to tie you up. I'll take the weapons. I also have to deal with Kamida. Hearing that, she was surprised, bewildered, startled, couldn't help but question. Did you accidentally let me go like that? Without asking anything, he quickly replied. I only have one question. One ultimate wish. The premise is no if I harm you. What must I do to make you give up chasing and killing me? But in your heart he silently added a fatal sentence. If you die, I can't spend money. Iris Saito knowing people's hearts is as difficult to fathom as finding a needle in a haystack. She heard it as if honey was poured into her ears. Her face turned red and she quickly covered her face and turned away. Her heart pounded as if it wanted to jump out of her chest. She was embarrassed and twisted, thinking, why does he treat me so well? And even give me Magatama? Maybe. At the same time, Lin Sin received a notification from the system, adding 10% of favorability. Great. Yes, you have to do it to the end. You are a hero. You get in the car and prepare to go to the meeting point. Iris Saito became a friend. Nervously couldn't help but rush over, clutching the car door, asking him, wait, why don't you just go alone and look for Kameda like this? His face was calm. He said it was okay. So what? If I can't get any information from you, then I have to go ask another assassin. Right. Iris Saito and as a fish caught on the hook. Boarding a pirate ship. She was worried about his safety, so she revealed the information. Kameda was at Beach Villa number 2. Town 1. Higashiatami. Even though she had sent a group of soldiers, big assassins came to kill him. But in the villa there were still 8 gun-toting fighters and 6 ninjas. Thinking about him, her body trembled. Kameda. He was extremely cruel, whether it was towards his targets or subordinates. You don't know. Damn it. I really wanted to escape. But the rules of the Saito family are very strict. Lin Sin gently placed his hand on her shoulder and comforted her. No need to worry. I will go and discuss it carefully with Kameda now. Believe my request. He'll agree too. His eyes looked at her tenderly and said, just find a place and hide. Looking at the car that was gradually moving away, Iris Saito lowered her eyes. Her heart was in turmoil. Lin Sin. Because why is everything he does beyond my expectations? I've lived through 18 pots of Ban Chung and I've never met anyone like him. Her liking for him adds another 20% to his liking. But don't see the flowers blooming and think that spring will come. Everything is not like a dream. In the midst of sublime emotions, she turned to panic when she saw that she was surrounded by 3 of old Kameda's subordinates. One of them used the device to report to the old man. The target has escaped, came out of the east door of the embassy, sent people to follow. Iris Saito failed the mission. Suspected of betrayal, the other end said angrily. Bring her back here. Iris Saito saw that. Her face fell. She froze. She broke out in a cold sweat. It felt like the sky was about to collapse. In another place, his mansion was on a bright island tonight. Security was pushed to the highest level. Patrol boats ran around the island like a pinwheel. In the room, Kameda stood looking out the glass window. He said to the person on the other end of the line. Lost track. On the end of the line, the other party quickly explained. We thought he was coming here, so we ambushed him along the road. But life was not like a dream. He seemed to be in our hearts and drove to another road, waiting for us. When I found his car, the person was no longer in the car. Kameda heard that. His face wrinkled like a monkey's ass. He got angry and scolded through the walkie-talkie. A bunch of useless people. Sent a ninja from the embassy over there. Turned around and found everything for me. Having finished speaking, the old man viciously looked towards Iris Saito, who was tied to a chair, with electric wires plugged into her body. Kameda approached and grabbed her hair. Questioned. Said, where did Lin Sin go? Iris Saito said with difficulty. I really don't know, master. He took all my weapons. And didn't tell me any plans. It's strange for someone like him to believe what you said. He angrily picked up the remote and pressed the button, at the same time saying, do you think I would believe it? Dreaming that I would let you go unharmed like that? Iris Saito was electrocuted all over her body. She tensed up and screamed in pain. When the electric shock passed, she bowed her head, her body trembling in pain. Unable to speak, old man Kameda squeezed her chin and said in a harsh voice, I have many effective interrogation methods, but I won't use them on you. Do you know why? He continued, his face full of despicable lust. Because I have to make sure that this perfect body of yours doesn't have any wounds, so that I can sell it. Got a good price. Iris Saito trembled and begged. Don't. At this moment, the alarm sounded. The urgent announcement came through the radio. There was an attack. There was only one person. I don't know where he infiltrated from. He killed several of our people, using ninja weapons. Hearing that, he loudly ordered, "Damn it, it must be Lin Sin. Turn on all the headlights." The ninja team set off. Today did you run into the sky? At this moment, you were like the wind dodging 2 passing enemy bullets. Then he held 2 swords in both hands and quickly cut a neck to kill one of them. But he was caught by the light. Determined the location, discovered the target, he couldn't escape. At the same time, a group of ninjas from the nearby woods rushed out like frogs pouncing on prey. Just rushed straight to the point where he just threw a dart at. Don't wait to die. In front of a strong enemy, he quickly threw his body and escaped. Coming to the cliff, Lin Sin did not hesitate to rush straight over, falling straight into the sea. The ninjas saw so at the same time jumped down to pursue. The person on the other side of the conversation announced that the target had already jumped into the sea. Our ninjas also went down. Old Kamida smiled sinisterly, thinking that jumping into the sea could escape. These 6 ninjas are all elites of the Saito family. Their underwater assassination ability is also very strong. Lin Sin is sure to die. In the deep sea, taking advantage of a loophole, a ninja holding a hidden weapon rushed straight towards him, intending to attack, stab you. But that guy could not have imagined that your speed was so fast. In the blink of an eye you had moved behind that guy. In front of this guy's wide eyes. You were cold. Definitely give him a shot to visit his grandparents. The remaining ninja saw this and quickly shouted. He was swimming too fast. Don't disperse. Gather in one place. Under his pressure, several ninjas quickly turned their backs to each other, only raising their swords to passively defend. He quickly moved around, playing cat and mouse with them. Couldn't help but laugh coldly. On land I really can't defeat you guys. But in the water you can't use stealth. Okay, my speed is not as fast as mine. I can still hold my breath for about 10 more minutes. Lin Sin couldn't help but feel embarrassed, thinking that the sea of the Kingdom of Japan is not clean at all. Damn it, not even I don't know how long I'll be immersed in seawater before I mutate. I have to fight quickly to win. In front of his attacks, the ninjas couldn't even fight back and attack. They were beaten until they didn't miss a single shot. One of them, because there was not enough oxygen, he broke the formation and swam to the surface, leaving his teammates behind. Seizing the unique opportunity, Lin Sin quickly rushed forward, and with one quick strike, he ended that guy's life on the spot. The remaining guys couldn't stand it anymore and rushed towards the water to get air. Looking back, they were scared to death. He was definitely not human. He had been swimming for 3 minutes. Why is there still no need to get oxygen? In another situation, the old man with a jar of Kamida no longer heard the gunshots. Guessing the result, he laughed widely with joy. What a fool, he was alone, also dared to come here to deal with me. But unfortunately I couldn't see his desperate expression when he was about to die. Iris Saito was filled with worry, silently calling his name, Lin Sin. Right after that, he took out a glass bottle, stroked his beard and looked at her contemptuously, saying, "The trouble has been solved. So now it's your turn. You realize what it is. Don't be afraid of me." Damn it, she silently cried that something was wrong. But all resistance was useless. Kamida squeezed her mouth and then put a few drops of water in. Then he rubbed his hands, stuck out his tongue, and said vilely, "Wait until I get bored of playing with you and then sell Thailand. As for Saito family, as long as I tell you that you failed your mission and were killed by Lin Sin. The Saito family definitely doesn't care about a lost commodity like you." Iris Saito was heartbroken, tears falling, thinking bitterly, "Lin Sin, when you said that, I truly believed that you were the one who could change my destiny." She silently prayed, "God, if there is a miracle, please let the miracle happen." Kamida Tien came to squeeze her cheeks and smiled lewdly. "There are no gods in this world, but I can take you to heaven." Suddenly a voice from behind answered his words. "And I can kick you straight down to the 18th floor of the earth." Prison. Lin Sin jumped in from the window. The hero saved the beauty. Iris Saito was so moved that she cried and softly called out. Lin Sin, notification system, plus 50% favorability. Wonderful. He quickly explained. Sorry for being late. Those ninjas were so entangled. Old man Kamida took the radio and called but got no response. Unbelievable. How could that be possible? Then he cried out. He was so full of pain that he couldn't hold the radio because he threw a dart at his wrist. Not letting him recover, Lin Sin rushed forward and gave him a shocking blow to his stomach, causing him to squirt blood. Said coldly, "Sorry, those fighters of yours are still stupid on the shore. The ninjas are in the water." He knelt down at his feet, rolled his eyes, clutched his stomach and groaned. He said in boredom, "He shut up, be quiet, don't bother people," then went to cut Iris Saito's rope. He trembled and stood up. His heart choked up and asked, "Why? That's impossible. You're obviously dead. Lin, please say it's okay. Maybe it's because my swimming technique is good and God loves me." Then he held her up so she could lean on him, gently held out the sharp knife and softly said, "Do you want to deal with him yourself?" Old Kamida with tears in his eyes and nose. He quickly knelt down, clasped his hands, trembling, and begged her, "Don't, I was wrong, I'm sorry, very sorry, please forgive me." Without saying a word, she took the glass bottle, popped it open, then approached, grabbed the old man's hair, tilted his head up, and forced him drink the whole bottle to save. She stood up and looked at him, her face full of disgust. Killing him with one knife would be too easy for him. This one bottle was enough to make him die miserably. He looked at him trying to hook him. His throat was full of vomit. His hands were in his pockets. His face was cold and he didn't speak. After that, the two of them boarded the yacht and drove away, leaving him moaning in the mansion behind. He couldn't help but exclaim, "This medicine is really scary." Iris Saito blushed, exhaled hot breath, looked at his questioning expression, held his elbow and tremblingly said, "Kamida just now forced me to drink that medicine." Without waiting for his response, she quickly rubbed it into her arms. As you said, sorry I couldn't bear it anymore." He looked eye to eye with Iris Saito sitting on his lap, blushing and said, "Let's go to shore first. Find a safe place first." She panted. "It's okay," she replied. "You drive the boat, I'll do it myself." Then she leaned down, put her legs on his shoulder, shyly moaning, "If you can't hold it anymore, you're not worthy of a man." Suddenly, the boat collided making her tremble. He shyly spoke up, "Sorry, I'll drive slowly." Iris Saito suppressed her cry, embarrassedly said, "Don't, just drive at that speed." At the same time, the system announced an additional 10% of favorability. Time flew by. When the sun came out, two people were hugging each other resting after a night of love on the yacht. He opened the flag in his stomach. "I didn't expect to feel something new." Iris Saito lay in his arms and said softly, "Kamida is dead. My master's contract was failed. I have to go home to Saito to be punished. He sincerely advised me, don't be a ninja anymore. Live and die. A girl, isn't it good for a young person like you to live peacefully?" She couldn't help but cry, choking up, "But I don't know what I can do. We ninjas are all orphans who were adopted by Saito from a young age. Ninjas are our only destiny." Suddenly, he held up a black VIP card in front of her. There was 1 billion in it. She could do what she wanted. "I want to do. Be the person I want to be. From now on I will only live for myself." I was so emotional when I held the card. Sparkling eyes looking at you. Lin Sin, thank you. The two hugged each other deeply at the same time. The system sounds continuously rang in his head, adding 45% of favorability. Saito Asuka reached 90%, completing the first stage of playing, spending 1,000,000,005 in playing money for Saito Asuka. 10% refund equivalent to 150 million Chinese yuan. Transferred to your personal account. Plus a current all attribute bonus. All attribute level 4. Bonus 1 of 3 skills. Choose from time permitting. Mastery of piano skill level A. Mastery of hand dancing skill level D. Mastery of hexagonal dance skill level D. The next morning, the press reported that the company's president Kamida Kento Kamida last night died in his villa. According to witnesses, the scene was extremely scary, so much so that the descriptive words had to be obscured. His bodyguards also had many dead people. Preliminary speculation is that it was assassinated by a ninja, suspected that it was done by a rival tycoon. At this time at the airport, Lin Sin and a man shook hands with each other. That person held his hand tightly while saying thank you, thanks. Luckily Kamida Kento is dead. You two can be safe. Thank you again for the dedication you did for the perfume. He replied with a smile. Thank you Embassy for protecting us. That Kamida is considered evil and evil is rewarded. Death is well deserved. Stepping towards the plane, he clasped his hands behind his head and said to Chia Yuxuan beside him. The matter has been resolved completely. Unfortunately, it is rare to come to the Japanese kingdom. It is not possible to have fun like soaking in hot water. There, she replied gently, come again next time, in the form of exchanging literature. Looking at the plane carrying him in the distance, Iris Saito gently stroked her long pink hair. She smiled. Lin Sin waited after finishing some personal matters. I will go to Perfume to find you. Because it seems I have found my life's goal. At Arrival Terminal B, Chia Yuxuan is leading the workers loading and unloading goods. Car, be careful, they are all precious artifacts. He was standing still to the side looking at it when he was suddenly startled by a prompt from the system. Counting down the time to choose one of 3 skills: 1 hour 16 minutes 23 seconds. Mastering the piano skill level A, mastering hand dancing skill level D, mastering hexagonal jumping skill level D. He looked at the system board and couldn't help but exclaim, oh my god, I almost forgot such an important matter. At that time he only focused on comforting Saito Asuka. He stroked his chin and thought, what the hell are the other 2 skills? Choose the piano, you can use it. System icon appeared. Had chosen to master the piano skill level A. Musical melodies suddenly appeared in his mind. Amazing, a large amount of knowledge about piano was automatically flowing into his brain. Suddenly there was the voice called him from behind. It turned out to be Luo Yaxi. She walked over with her bag and said, I'm here to pick you up. Are you surprised? He put his hand in his bag and looked down at her. No wonder he asked me before, when are you going to fly back home? You're really considerate. Luo Yaxi leaned into his arms and shyly confessed, I miss you, then stood on tiptoe and kissed him on the cheek. She shyly stroked his hair. I'll take him out to eat first. After that, we went to see the house. I chose a 90 square meter house for about 150,000. He smiled happily like he had found candy, holding his hand and talking like a newly rich man. That's right, buying a house, only 150,000, how can it be enough? If you give a gift, you have to give an expensive one. He hugged Luo Yaxi and prepared to leave, secretly calculating, buying a house can cost a lot of money. Luo Yaxi's current favorability is 95%. Right, no, I don't know what it will be like when it reaches 100%. I'm curious. Suddenly Chia Yuxuan turned around and saw him and asked, Lin Sin, where are you going? He was startled, sweating like he was caught at the battle. He quickly turned his head to explain, oh, that, me and my friends, then turned around and didn't see Luo Yaxi running ahead, waving to the driver, making him stiffen. Chia Yuxuan said gently, his soulmate said, your friend came to pick you up. Must be a good brother. Before he could explain, she quickly stood on tiptoe and kissed him on the cheek. Then bowed her head and said, this trip is to the Kingdom of Japan. It's been hard for you. Despite such danger. Having finished speaking, Chia Yuxuan was embarrassed and quickly left him and ran away. Now leave the arrangement of these documents to me. You are lucky. Touched his face, thinking to himself, do they count as an indirect kiss? From inside the car, Luo Yaxi waved at him. Lin Sin, get in the car. He looked at it and felt relieved in his heart. Oh my god, have you avoided a lifetime of heated disputes? Lin Sin and Luo Yaxi stood in front of the lobby of villa area. Luo Yaxi stammered in surprise. This is Dila Yipan's villa area. Lin Sin had the opportunity to show off to a pretty girl and said, I asked a friend just now. He introduced me here. Mr. True happily answered the phone before. Mr. Kian wants to buy the most expensive villa. Come to my Dila Yipan. Dragon Court number 1 in there is the most suitable for Mr. Kian's identity. Luo Yaxi and Lin Sin walked in. She looked around and said, but I heard that the cheapest villa costs 100 million. The pretty staff member bowed politely and said, sir, miss, hello, can I anything to serve for you too? Lin Sin calmly replied, I want to watch Dragon Court number 1. The employee, on the outside, secretly thought in disgust, bringing people who do live streams here to record videos. It's so annoying. Okay, let's leave them to another colleague. Then tell the 2 people in front of us. Yes, sir, this is Dragon Court salesperson number 1. Please wait a moment. Can you see the introduction of the design board of Dragon Court number 1 first? The female employee turned away in disgust, leaving Luo Yaxi hesitantly saying, Lin Sin, this Dragon Court number 1 is 300 million. Isn't it too expensive? Lin Sin replied very stylishly. Yaxi, this is your first room. I don't want to be rude. If you want to give it, you have to give it the most expensive one. Luo Yaxi tearfully called his name. Lin Sin, the system shows up, plus 3% of favorability. Luo Yaxi's current favorability is 98%. Lin Sin smiled happily as if she was on cloud 9 thinking, I'm so strong. I have both earned money and increased my favorability. Suddenly a man and a woman walked in. It was Mr. Jin, and a big-breasted beauty walked in. Mr. Jin said to the girl, today take me to see how the flowers are arranged at Dragon Court number 1. The girl next to me flattered me a bit. Mr. Jin is so good. Do you want to buy that house? Mr. Jin replied, not sure, if it can make you satisfied. Buying it is just a matter of minutes. Big belly guy Mr. Jin came next to Lin Sin and asked, who brother, did you buy a villa too? Lin Sin politely replied, I'm. Luo Yaxi, eyes bright as headlights, said, oh my god, Lin Sin, look at this balcony and swimming pool. It's expensive but really very beautiful. Mr. Jin and his sister, wearing a mane of hair next to him, said contemptuously, what a coincidence. The brother also saw Dragon Court number 1 star. Lin Sin stupidly and happily replied, he also came for Dragon Court number 1. So what a coincidence. Luo Yaxi next door is in a serious mood. Sorry you two, we have decided to buy Dragon Court number 1. You can go directly to Dragon Court number 2 or number 3, check it out. Mr. Jin revealed his infamous eyes and replied, really, my brother is still young. I didn't expect he was already a billionaire. If that's the case, then of course we have to give in. Nini said, let's see. Right. Beautiful girl Nini continued, of course. Although we also want to buy it. Just consider it as a friend gift. Luo Yaxi was upset. Lin Sin left to ask the staff, hello, please tell me it's a toilet, which direction is it? The employee enthusiastically replied, go this way then turn right. At the men's restroom. Lin, please wash your hands after doing business. Suddenly Mr. Jin boldly walked in. He pulled out a pack of cigarettes. Lin Sin, my brother, stabbed you so you had to follow me. Right? He lit the cigarette. Then continued, that girl of yours is so sour. I don't think you can control it. Lin Sin deliberately pretended not to understand. What do you mean? I don't really understand. Mr. Jin pretended to flex with Lin Sin and said, it's just that you act very fake as a second-generation rich man. I also have to worry about you a little more. How are you going to clean up the ending? Look at me. Nouveau riche. Is this acting without any flaws? Young man Lin Sin looked surprised, looking at Mr. Jin in front of him. He put his arm around his shoulder. Lin Sin said, I think you're very pleasing to the eye, so I'll give you some free tips. Come on, look at my Porsche and Lamborghini car keys. Lin Sin asked in confusion. These are expensive car keys. Mr. Jin smiled happily and said with a voice full of experience, damn the key. These are all lighters. These are all my color props. Discrimination. The Nini girl out there is looking because of my Lamborghini key. He let me slip into my hand so easily. He confidently spoke repeatedly, causing Lin Sin to go out of his mind. This appearance of yours cannot scare people. The rich second generation must have a way. Dressed like a wealthy second generation. At first glance I knew you were a newbie. He took advantage of the opportunity to offer long posts. I also tricked Nini into talking about buying a villa. When I saw you say you wanted to buy it, I immediately borrowed this as well. Going into the water, the image of an emerging rich person who is not short of money and is happy to expand relationships has been formed. Isn't that very good? This is improvisation. Brother, there are many things you can do. Need to learn. I just had an intensive course in 30 days. Discounting the price for you to 998. Even if you are a beauty or a rich woman, you can easily get your hands on it. Please coordinate with me later so that you can have it. Excuse not to buy this villa anymore. Outside Luo Yaxi and Nini. The girl Nini looked down at Luo Yaxi's bag and said, this Hermes bag of yours also looks like the real thing. Luo Yaxi responds in style. This is real. Bought in Hermes store. Pretty girl Nini continued innocently. Little sister, don't misunderstand. I'm not your enemy. Our goals are the same. It's just you so bad. I don't know how to look at people. Luo Yaxi asked in bewilderment. Me, what is my goal? I'm a pretty and confident girl. Pretending to be a rich lady. We all have the same goal. She confidently held up the bag in her hand and said, "Your qualifications are very high. Only can you be high? Mr. Jin, this nouveau riche who spends heavily. This genuine Chanel bag of mine was also bought for him. 120.000 each." Luo Yaxi was shocked. Nini's older sister patted Yaxi's shoulder. "But it's okay, I'll expose his true face later for you." Nini energetically held Yaxi's hand and said, "Back, my sister is too stubborn." Luo Yaxi turned to Lin Xin and said, "Lin Xin, the more I look at Dragon Court number 1, the more I like it." Lin Xin elegantly said to the staff, "Hello, I want to buy Dragon Court number 1. Now go check in for me." The employee asked in surprise, "Don't you need to come in first?" "Yes, I'll go to work right away." Mr. Jin and Nini thought nothing of the same thing. "Come here, look, come on little brother. I will relieve you, let you escape. Come here, look little sister, I will expose this second rich fake for you." The sound of swiping the card. The transaction was successful except 300 million. Lin Xin pointed at Luo Yaxi and said, "The name of this house should be in the name of this lady." Luo Yaxi held his face in delusion and thought, "Villa of 300 million. Is my home with Lin Xin?" The employee and Mr. Jin and Nini were petrified on the spot. With great difficulty forcing out the words, "What?" the employee politely raised his hand and said, "You two, please go this way, I'll take you to Dragon Court number 1. Unlucky Mr. Jin and Nini were extremely enthusiastic. Unexpectedly the clown was himself. At the luxury villa area, Lam Tam held out his hand to receive the key from the employee. "Mr. Lin, this is the key of you. Starting from now on you are the owner of Dragon Court number 1. Lin Xin politely replied, "Thank you." The security guard of the villa was sleeping soundly. A footsteps rang out. It made me say the guard suddenly woke up. He seemed to be cautious and raised his voice. "Who said, Dragon Court number 1 is a villa that unauthorized people are not allowed to enter?" I kicked. The security guard took a full kick and ascended to heaven. General True after finishing he happily said, "Luckily I arrived in time. I knew right away that the situation would be like this." Leaving Lin Xin and Luo Yaxi helpless too. General True waved his hand and watched the two enter the villa. "I didn't do it. Please, Mr. Qian and the beauties enjoy their new home. I wish you both a happy life." Inside the villa, 2 rows of servants are neatly lined up waiting for their masters. Inside there is a room filled with wine. It looks like crave. The outdoor swimming pool is filled with a luxurious feeling. The shiny gym makes people say, "Oh my god. It's so pompous." Lin Xin said very naturally. The bathroom is just as big. Enough for 10 people to bathe. Moreover, next to the bathroom is the steam room. Suddenly the shower faucet flushed. Lin Xin turned around in bewilderment to look. Luo Yaxi stood under the wet faucet and said embarrassedly, accidentally touching the switch. Lin Xin blushed and looked at the ring won by Luo Yaxi said, "Then take a hot bath. Don't let it get cold." Saying then turned around and left. "I'll go buy you new clothes." Luo Yaxi expressed shyness and held Lin Xin. "Don't go, this villa is so big. I'm a bit scared being alone." In the end, my clothes were scattered on the ground. The spring scene was exposed. The two of them pressed their faces close together. Luo Yaxi gasped for a few words. 2 people's legs, 1 big and 1 small. Stepping into the bathtub to do adult things. A way of enjoyment. The two kissed passionately. Luo Yaxi's eyes filled with tears said lovingly, "Lin Xin, I love you." The system suddenly showed up with 2% favorability. Congratulations to the host for another successful counterattack step and receiving the first 100% attack achievement. The submissive relationship between Luo Yaxi and the host has changed. From now on she will be single-minded. Never betray. Spend 300 million in game money. Refund 3,000. Bonus plus 1 full level attribute. You can choose a skill below B level as you like. Do you have a choice now? Lin Xin looked at the words on the system with bright eyes and thought. Successfully practicing. He happily continued thinking. Wholeheartedly yes. Never betray. No matter how many other beauties she knows I know. She will not be jealous. Nor will her liking decrease. So fighting no longer exists. Hugging left and right is no longer a dream. Okay, great. I'm busy now. Wait for your free time skills. Then pick 'em up. Luo Yaxi threw herself at him, whining and calling his name. Lin Xin. The next day, Lu Cheng woke up dreamily. She was startled to see Luo Yaxi walked in dreamily and asked, Yaxi, where did you go last night? Luo Yaxi climbed into bed and said, I'm tired. You open it and see my post yourself. Lu Cheng picked up the phone and was startled. Luo Yaxi's post with the words of love in his mouth, sunshine on his face, love in his head, beside him, accompanied by meaningful photos. Lu Cheng said angrily, holding the phone tightly, he is Lin Xin. Luo Yaxi just returned to her room early in the morning. She lazily lay down and yawned. In this world besides Lin Xin, can I see anyone else? It's convenient to say, the villa, that's what he bought for me. It's our house. Lu Cheng said with a jealous frown. What house? Yaxi, don't blame me for so many things. You guys don't have any emotional foundation. Lin Xin is very good, maybe it's just a joke. Don't get too deep. Luo Yaxi was sleepy, his eyes almost glued together. Reply, thank you for reminding me. But my love for Lin Xin is so much that I can't understand. Even if other women fall for him, I won't be jealous, because Lin Xin knows that I will always be with him. Lu Cheng shouted, you're crazy. Sleepiness came. Luo Yaxi didn't care about Lu Cheng anymore. Didn't talk anymore. Last night Lin Xin tormented me until my limbs fell off. I support you to continue to hold on to Lin Xin if you can do it. Lu Cheng silently cursed in his mind. By the way, you keep being arrogant. Your last plan wasn't perfect enough. But this time Lin Xin will definitely feel it. A few days later, while Lin Xin is sleeping, the phone rang. What is that? It's early in the morning. On Lin Xin's phone notification, a dense message notifications. Luo Yaxi, honey, today is my birthday. Let's go, let's eat and watch a movie. Lu Cheng, happy birthday to you. I really want to say these words to you personally. Lin Xin, happy birthday. Fortunately Peng Billion said it in the group. Otherwise I wouldn't have. I know. You are my major shareholder. It's not okay if you don't invite me to a meal. Lin, please read the message. I'm happy. I forgot my birthday. I've never had a girl wish me a birthday before me. Lin Xin replied to Peng Billion's message. I was very touched, but I already had an appointment with my roommates to eat together today, so it'll be later. Lin Xin thought to herself. What a fool. At the same time, dealing with so many women in one day is so annoying. I'm not a master of time management. The brothers in Lin Xin's dorm room laughed and said, today is your birthday. Tonight now we invite you to dinner. Lin Xin replied excitedly, guys, then I won't be polite anymore. After Lin Xin replied, the guys in the room looked at each other and smiled mysteriously. Early afternoon, Lin Xin happily arrived at the hotel that her roommates had booked in advance. Lin Xin exclaimed, those 3 kids invited me to eat at such a luxurious hotel. I came here to eat with Yan Bao last time. Lin Xin looked at his phone and saw a reservation on the 3rd floor. The 3 of Zhou Tong and the others were sitting on the 3rd floor. Lin Xin arrived at the 3rd floor and immediately took a photo to inform them. I arrived at the restaurant on the 3rd floor. Everyone. At this time a woman with a stiff face due to plastic surgery angrily came forward and shouted at Lin Xin. Hey, why did you secretly take a photo of me? Immediately delete the photo and apologize to me. Lin Xin, hurry up, explanation. I didn't secretly take a photo of you. The smug woman said, do you think I'm stupid? I'll count to 3 and if you don't delete it, I'll call the police. What a nuisance. It's just that he looks a little more outstanding. And everywhere he goes there are perverted men secretly taking pictures. Lin Xin immediately held up the phone screen with the text message for everyone to see. In the photo is Lin Xin. He texted me, I've arrived at the restaurant on the 3rd floor. Are you guys here? After showing everyone around, he said, I didn't secretly take pictures of you. Open your eyes and see clearly. Woman, when Lin Xin saw the photo on her phone, she was extremely angry and embarrassed. And the surrounding staff secretly held back their laughter until they trembled. Luo Yaxi stepped forward and called out, Lin Xin, you're here. Lin Xin looked puzzled. Yaxi. Luo Yaxi quickly pulled his hand into the restaurant. Lin Xin, let's go in. Lin Xin was pulled in by Yaxi and scratching my head, but still don't understand what the problem is. Everyone standing around eating melons also died laughing. This person's girlfriend is also so beautiful. That's right, with such a beautiful girlfriend. How can you secretly take pictures of someone who touches you? Plastic surgery like this. When you're ugly, you like to beautify yourself. The woman who was criticized by everyone was so angry. She cursed crazily in her head. A bunch of blind people. Is there anything I can't be beautiful about? So beautiful, but he didn't take a picture of me. This man is really blind. Entering the restaurant to the reserved table, Lin Sin asked, "Why are you here? Where are Joe Tong and the others?" Yaxi said softly, "Today is your birthday. People want to spend your birthday with you. So they asked them for a little help." Lin Sin was speechless. How could those 3 people go to such a high-end restaurant? So, Yaxi happily said, "When I told them, they agreed very quickly, worthy of being my best friends." At this time, Lin Sin's friends thought, "Son, the fathers can only help. I'm just here. I don't have to go anywhere tonight." "I understand." Luo Yaxi took out a watch. Lin Sin, happy birthday. Lin Sin received the gift. "Thank you," and thought to yourself, "Luckily it's not a competition, it's good to win." Lu Cheng walked up from afar. "Lin Sin, happy birthday." She held out her gift to Lin Sin. Lin Sin was surprised. "Lu Cheng, why are you here?" Lu Cheng sit down next to Lin Sin, approaching him with a seductive look. "Lin Sin, this is Versace's leather belt. I think this belt is worthy of your temperament." Luo Yaxi frowned and said, "This belt, it's only 50,000. Right, this gift is too cheap." Lin Sin, this watch is Omega's newest one. 200,000. Lu Cheng counted. "No Yaxi, Lin Sin gave you so many gifts, so you only bought a watch for 200,000. Although my leather belt is only 50,000. But that's all the money I have." Lin Sin's attitude is not very happy. "Give it back. I don't need your gift." Lu Cheng thought in shock. He actually asked me to return the belt. As soon as Lin Sin heard that I had used all my money to buy it, he immediately decided to thank me. "Need that. Lin Sin, really, you still love me?" Notification system +3 favorability. Lu Cheng's favorability is 94%.